Kickin' It in the 757 is brought to you by the Mambo Room Cultural Dance Center and by McCown Pressure Wash and Painting, home of the worry-free guarantee.
Welcome to another episode of Kickin' It in the 757. I'm your host, Kevin Neff. This week on Kickin' It in the 757, we've got a great show lined up for you. This week, we're hanging out at the 2017 NAS Oceana Air Show. But we're going to share with you a different perspective as we go behind the scenes with the gladiators of VFA 106. We spend some time with the show director. We get to meet a Gold Star family. And we have another edition of the 5-Minute Chef. All this and more on Kickin' It in the 757. We're standing here on the tarmac for the NAS Oceana 2017 Air Show. And as you can tell by my backdrop, we're in really good company. Now, while a lot of you are probably familiar with the air show and what goes on, we thought we'd show you a little bit of a different look at the show this year as we go behind the scenes with some of the people that make it possible, not only on the days of the event, but also leading up to it as we get a chance to hang with some of the nation's finest pilots from the F-18 demo team. So come on with us as we give you a different perspective of the 2017 NAS Oceana Air Show.
I'm Lieutenant Pete Santos, call sign Sneaky. I'm an instructor here at VFA 106. And I'm on the tactical demonstration team with the Gladiators. And we're glad to have you, and I hope you guys enjoy your behind-the-scenes look. We're going to walk you through what it takes to get one of these F-18s up to do a demonstration. As big as the air show is, big or small, you're going to see everything that we do is done every day for every type of flights. At the briefing, you're going to see that we're going to discuss pretty much everything that we discuss every day for every type of flight. Talk about tactical, administrative things for the flight. And then you're going to also hear us talk about safety. And then finally, you're going to hear us talk about the actual mission and what we're going to go out there and do. For the brief, what you'll see is that the pilot's going to utilize models, and that's predominantly what he's going to use as a training tool in order to walk us through what you can expect in the actual air show itself.
For the flat pirouette, 350 knots, 800 feet, we'll initiate a 5G pull. Once we hit 350, into the vertical, targeting 85 degrees nose high on a 290 heading. And then once we hit 5,000 feet, we'll program a 34 alpha pull over the top, and then keep that 34 alpha loop going all the way through about 4 degrees nose low. There we'll put the pirouette inputs in, so full right stick and full right rudder, and keep 34 alpha on the jet for the flat pirouette.
Once we're done with the briefing, then we'll go to what's called the ready room. We'll talk with the ODO, or the officer on duty, and we'll talk to him about the flight schedule, what's going on with the flight schedule, and then we'll get what jet we're going to fly that day. Once we are complete with that, we'll walk to maintenance, and we'll get the particular book for that jet, and we're going to go through the book with the maintenance personnel, make sure that that jet is good to fly. Then we'll go to the PR room, which holds our gear. We'll put on our G-suit, we'll put on our harness, and then you'll see us put on our vest. And then lastly, you'll see us put on our helmets. And then we'll walk out to the jet fully geared up and ready to go. So at the jet, we'll be met by the PC. The PC will talk to us about the jet, how much fuel it has, make sure that all the pins are pulled for the flight, and then give us any updates on what he or she thinks may or may not be good with the jet. After that, we will walk around the jet, make sure the jet is good to go, while the maintenance personnel close all the doors and make sure that the jet is also good to go. Once we're complete with the pre-flight, then we'll jump in the jet. You'll see us taxi out, make sure that we're good to go prior to us taking off. As we're taxiing by, we're doing just standard takeoff checklists. And then for this particular flight, there's also another TAC demonstration checklist that we'll step through as well. Yeah, so once we land, we'll taxi back. We'll step through all the same things we did with maintenance, and we'll debrief maintenance on the actual how the jet performed. And then after that, there's an extensive debrief process to make sure that we performed what we had briefed earlier on that day. After that, we would be complete with the flight. After the debrief, we make sure that we hit all the lessons learned. We usually record our flight, and the room that we watch the recording is classified, yes.
Coming up next, we head back to the air show as we introduce you to the man that makes everything go. Smoothly, he hopes.
Okay, it's decision time for your next painting or pressure washing job. So make the right call to McCown Pressure Wash and Painting and our all-star lineup. McCown Pressure Wash and Painting. And don't forget to ask about our college football special.
Joe Taylor here, and we're asking people, who is Pratt & Lambert?
Oh, plumbers. We've used them before.
Oh, I use their makeup. Don't you love it?
Brad Lambert, they're the people that did my taxes.
Obviously, you know who Pratt & Lambert is.
Well, of course. I know that when it comes to the paints you use or the colors you choose, you should never compromise. And neither does Pratt & Lambert.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Pratt & Lambert paint, carried exclusively at Taylor's Do It Centers.
Welcome back. Now, for those of you not aware, the Navy has their version of a dress rehearsal on the Friday prior to the weekend show, which is open to the public. This rehearsal show, while not open to the public, is open to the military dependents, as well as military retirees. Also, a limited number of invitations go to special needs groups, outreach groups, and luckily for us, Kickin' It in the 757. So let's go check it out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Very highly modified churches.
It is actually the Navy's largest open house event, with generally about 250,000 people coming to it. The Navy has no larger open house event in North America. We're one of the largest military shows on the East Coast, and we are a 4-time Dick Schramm Community Relations Award winner. No one's ever four-peated before except us in terms of community outreach and stature as a military show. So it is one of the best military shows in North America. As the director of the show, essentially, you're the individual essentially in charge of pulling it all together. It's a consortium of different interests. I've got installation folks, I've got off installation folks, I've got all kinds of different organizations that don't typically work in this close concert together on something this large. So my job is to pull it all together, first establish some kind of strategic vision for what the show is going to look like, what the theme might be, what the performers might be, and then getting everybody to kind of start walking towards that vision until we get to the execution day like today. Planning cycle is about a year long with very early, general, again, strategic vision planning elements.
1.5 on the down line, so that'll make this half of the
It's still a labor of love, and I am completely passionate about it every second of the day. This is, I don't want to call it my baby because it's not all my work, but this is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on the part of a lot of people, and I've maintained a passion about it for more than a decade, and it hasn't dimmed even a little bit. It is the Super Bowl for us, where we get to open the base to the taxpayers that pay for all this stuff. They pay for our salaries and all this stuff. They own it, and they want to see what we do there. We own it. And that's my opening speech and my first brief is we're doing this because the taxpayers own this stuff. We owe it to them a chance to see it, and to see it in action, and more importantly, to meet the men and women that put this stuff on, all the sailors and the pilots and stuff. So that's really important to us. And we're serious when we say this gives us a chance to tell the Navy story, but also it gives us a chance to tell Oceana's story, because we're around these people, flying over them 365 a year. Yeah, we have the noise issues and stuff, but it's a really tight partnership with the city of Virginia Beach, and it's really just kind of a favor, not even a favor. We owe them the chance to come here and look at it. There's no us and them. It's all us. I mean, we're soccer coaches and we go to church with you. It's just us. Our job happens to be different. It's behind a fence. Well, one day of the year we're going to open that fence up to you, right? That's why it's important to us. One thing I've picked up over the years is the show gets closer. I hit my what my staff calls my Neo moment. Usually on Wednesday, I'm in the Matrix, man. I am seeing everything. It doesn't matter if it's the CO needs a C-17 brought from this air station, or this person needs a worker parking pass for Friday. It's like all the bullets are in slow motion. I'm just like, got it. But, you know,
so it truly slows down. In the chaos, it actually, for you, it slows down.
It's a heightened sense of situational awareness where you're forgetting nothing. And that's probably one of the skill sets I've kind of learned over the years, but I've always been fairly not excitable. If it gives back anything to me, it's Friday. It's the outreach day. A chance to do something truly unique and special for people that deserve something truly unique and special, right? And that makes all of this worth it. In fact, I'll often tell stories that there's always something that happens at the show, right, that kind of crystallizes kind of why we do this. And my favorite story, the Blackwater jump team was here, and they had a jumper who lost both his legs below the knees in a jump accident, right? He's jumping, right? So he comes down on the Friday show, you know, does this thing, and he lands on his sticks right in front of the special needs area, right? Then he walks over to the special needs tent, he's talking to everybody, and we're about 50-ish, just seeing what he's doing, and he reaches over and he grabs a kid who's about 7 or 6 or 5, pulls him over. The kid's got no legs below the knees on sticks. Starts talking to him, right? No one took any pictures. Not a dry in the house. I'm like, tear me up. I'm already. It's like that's why we did that, right? And those are moments when I'm talking to admirals about budgets and air shows and whatnot. I'm like, that's a story I tell. We developed a scheme for 2016 to theme the show around STEM and to build these STEM areas. There's a green one right there. I got green, yellow, red, and blue. Science, technology, engineering, and math. And the push is from the Navy and from the school systems in recognition of the fact that the U.S. students score 21st and 24th or so low in technical fields in the world. Low. Very low. And so the thinking is to engender some interest in younger kids to maybe steer them, hey, it's an option to do crazy cool science stuff. And the idea was, hey, maybe we'll get the school system to send science clubs and that kind of thing. Give them the pitch about, hey, air show Friday, bunch of kids from the schools, what do you think? He goes, I want to send every 5th grader. And his staff goes,
that's what, how many is it, 5,000?
5,500. His staff goes,
I can't imagine, how many buses did that take?
175.
That's what I heard.
And I go, oh, I wasn't really, oh, okay, yes sir, what a great idea. And we've got school officials working with Navy officials to develop relationships with people that have STEM displays and robotics and 3D printing and submarines and all that cool stuff.
Back in my misspent youth, I was a Navy F-14 pilot. Did my 20 years in the Navy and retired. Started in 1990 or so, back in the days of the tall ships, of course. But oddly enough, that profession gives you a certain skill set in planning. Whether you're doing long-range strike planning, very similar to long-range air show planning. You basically work the problem backwards, you envision the end result, and you ask yourself, how did I get there?
Coming up next, we have the privilege of spending some time with the Gold Star family, as well as learning more about this wonderful program.
We aren't sponsors of NASCAR teams, but we will sponsor your next do-it-yourself project. Just go to taylorsdoit.com or text Taylors to 42828 and receive a $10 sponsorship towards your next project with us. I'm Joe Taylor. For 86 years, Taylor's Do-It Centers have been your neighborhood partner for home and garden projects right here in Tidewater. So when it's time for your next project, let's do it together. Oh, and that NASCAR thing, it would be pretty cool though.
Well, out here today, we've run across a lot of great organizations and groups, one of which is the Gold Star program. Now, for those of you not familiar exactly what the Gold Star program does and who they do it for, well, we had a chance to chat with Melissa Black, a Gold Star program coordinator, as she explains more about this wonderful program and the people that they help here in the military community.
My name is Melissa Black, and I am the Navy Gold Star coordinator for Naval Station Norfolk. Well, interestingly enough, I'm a Gold Star surviving spouse myself. I lost my husband back in October of 1995. And back then, the Navy did not have a Gold Star program, so I didn't know how to navigate the system. I didn't know how to seek out support. So it was my CACO. CACO stands for Casualty Assistance Calls Officer. It was my CACO that helped walk me through that system, provided me that support, and was really instrumental in helping me find some purpose to move on. I had a 20-month-old baby, so I was left a widow and a single mom at the age of 25, and I didn't know where to go or what to do, and he helped me with that. The Gold Star programs provide long-term care assistance, linking them with each other survivors, with helping them navigate the benefits system, also linking them and connecting them with honor and remember type of events where they get VIP treatment like they get today, so that they know, those surviving families know that they are honored and remembered, and that their loved one continues to be honored and remembered no matter how long it's been since the death. Now, this program, Gold Star Survivors, applies to spouse, children, parents, step siblings. It is very inclusive, so that just about any service member who dies is going to leave behind multiple surviving family members, and they're all eligible to participate in this program, which is completely voluntary, and each branch of service has a long-term care program set up for those surviving family members. Any service member who is active duty and dies, their surviving family members are eligible for They're Gold Star families. So it doesn't matter if the service member was KIA. It doesn't matter if the service member passed away due to illness, suicide, homicide, training accident, car accident, and so on and so forth. So regardless of the manner of death of that service member, those families are Gold Star families. My husband died on October 3rd. This year will be 22 years. And I believe, successfully moved through my journey. I never get over it. Nobody will ever get over the loss of their loved one. But with this program and having coordinators throughout the country that organize events and stay in touch with these family members, it's a way of saying, hey, wherever you are at on your journey, we're there with you. You are not alone. There are people who understand what you're going through emotionally, that are willing to say, I stand by you. No matter how long it takes for you to talk to me, I'm here if you need me. And the same goes for, survivors connecting with other survivors. It's a group or a club that nobody wants to belong to, but once you're in it, you know that the people that are also members of that club get it. Well, the Navy has a website, www.navygoldstar.com. We have a toll-free number. There's also a Facebook page. As being a survivor, I think I come from a different perspective than some folks in that I understand that hesitancy. I was in a shell for a long time as well, despite the well-meaning, wishes of everyone around me, offering me help. I just wasn't ready. So all of us coordinators make it a point that when we do that initial reach out to the family members, that we tell them, as I said before, whenever you are ready, we are here. It's a gentle, an email or a gentle follow-up phone call, just checking on you kind of thing. Every month, our coordinators take it upon themselves to write what we call angelversary cards. So every deceased service member that died, let's say in September, I will hand write a note to every single family member and mail it to them during that month of the loss of their loved one as a way to say, I honor you, and I want you to know that your loved one has not been forgotten by me, has not been forgotten by the Navy, has not been forgotten by the military. That's very, very important to family members.
So I'm here with Randy and Betty Dent, and you are part of the Gold Star families, if you will. First of all, can you share with us the loved one that you lost that unfortunately made you part of this group initially?
I had a son. His name was Bradford. He was active duty in the military of the United States Navy, and he was on his way to work one particular morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and had a head-on collision with an oncoming vehicle from a blind turn on a state highway.
And how old was your son at the time of his passing?
He was 20 years old.
Well, first of all, thank you both for your son's service to our country. I just want to say that. How did you find out about the Gold Star organization?
To be honest with you, Melissa just came out of the blue and contacted us.
The service gave her our names, and she tracked us down, and it's been a big comfort.
And to that point, what is this, we'll call it family, meant to not only the both of you, but also in helping you as best you can deal with the passing of your son obviously at a very, very early age? How has it helped with that?
It has helped because I know that there are people out there that still are thinking about him. And it helps out a lot that I know I could call her at any time, or I can call other people in the group that I know that have gone through similar things.
What about for you, Randy?
I just think that the Gold Star program keeps you together as families. It's a situation that you don't want to just sweep under the carpet. You need to face it and accept it. And Gold Star just links everybody together and comforts you.
To learn more about the Navy Gold Star program, visit NavyGoldStar.com. Well, hey guys, that's a wrap on this year's 2017 NAS Oceana Air Show. I'd like to give a special thanks out to the United States Navy, the gladiators of VFA 106 who allowed us to tag along in their pre-show demo flight practices. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Gold Star coordinator and the families, as well as the noblemen and pretty much everybody else that come together and put on this massive event. And if you haven't already done it, make sure you put on your to-do list the 2018 show. So until next time, I'm Kevin, and we're kicking it at the NAS Oceana Air Show on a very hot and steamy tarmac. See ya. Looking for a quick and easy meal to make with ingredients you can buy from your local neighborhood grocery store? Well, Chef Alvin Williams shows us just that on this edition of the 5-Minute Chef.
Hi, this is Chef Alvin Williams at Cobalt Grill Restaurant in Virginia Beach, and this segment of the 5-Minute Chef, I'm going to show you how to prepare our seared salmon that we have on the menu with our spaghetti vegetables. So this here is our Faroe Island salmon. It's a great piece of fresh salmon. It's from the Faroe Islands, which is a series of islands between Iceland and Scotland. Just going to put a little oil in a pan, season it, salt, pepper. We're going to put it skin side down. So we do skin side down first because you get the benefit of the heat first, because you want to get the skin nice and crispy. It's a lot tastier when it's crispy as opposed to being soft. So while the pan's nice and hot, do that. We're going to leave that there for a few minutes. We're going to make our spaghetti vegetables. And this is our mandolin, which is a great kitchen gadget that we use here. And if you can see, as we do this on this setting, you get nice ribbons here. So for the color, we do zucchini for the green and yellow squash for the yellow. And then we have some nice carrot. Just a gentle pushing motion through the mandolin. And the result is, so if you don't have a mandolin at home, you can probably use like a cheese grater. It might not look as pretty as this, but there are mandolins available in the grocery stores. There's metal ones, there's plastic ones. Here we are. And at this time, we can go ahead and flip our salmon over. As you can see, you got this great char and nice beautiful color. So we're just going to let that sit there. In the meantime, we're going to cook our spaghetti vegetables. A little bit of olive oil and straight into the pan. Again, some salt and pepper for seasoning. A little more olive oil. And over in this pan here, we're going to cook our farro. So this is whole grain farro, originally from Italy. It's a grain, and it has a really great nutty flavor, a rice-like texture. And you can get this at the grocery store. It's become very popular, like some of the other grains like quinoa and freekeh, which are also grains that we use here. We do a lot of vegetarian cooking here in the restaurant, so we're quite familiar with these grains. And I'm just heating that up with a little bit of white wine. And as you can see, it doesn't take very long for this spaghetti of vegetables to cook. So we can go ahead and plate this dish now. I'm going to take some of this farro grain, put that right in the middle of the plate. Add some of our spaghetti vegetables there. I'm going to top that with the salmon. And that'd be a nice medium rare. And here at Cobalt, we serve that with a chimichurri sauce, which is an uncooked sauce from Argentina. And that's made with cilantro, parsley, garlic, a little red wine vinegar. And that goes right here. And here we have it. Chef Alvin Williams from Cobalt Grill in Virginia Beach, Hilltop North. And this is our pan-seared salmon with farro grain and spaghetti vegetables and a chimichurri sauce. And this completes our 5-minute chef segment.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode. And remember, you can get social with us on Facebook, as well as checking individual destinations and past episodes on our website, anytime, anywhere. So until next time, we're kicking it in the 757, and so should you.